Quarter Pounder with Cheese had many great things.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. It's been a while. But we are back. We had a lot happen in the last couple weeks. But in the meantime, a couple stream updates. I think I should be multi-streaming officially on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok. Let me double check that actually. I just want to see what it looks like on there. I think all the messages, if you chat, should come into like the same little window. Ugh. Yeah, we're good. It's live. Holy moly. How about that? All right. Old dog, new tricks. All right. And I think the ad roll should be done by now too. I went ahead and ran it right before I cut to on screen. So yeah, we have OBS updated, and I don't know what all changed, but I did figure out how to multi-stream. Cost like $20, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But how is everyone doing on this Wednesday? Like I said, we had my other update. Inside of this magnifying glass, my cousin has a 3D printer, which, as a cozy gamer that likes to decorate and have specific things in my room, is incredible because he's like, I get the family discount. All I have to pay for is the filament, and he will print me like whatever I want, and filament's not that expensive. So this was like $2 or $3 or something like that. So yeah, we have a giant magnifying glass for when we need to take a closer look on Nancy Drew. So we are playing Legend of the Crystal. Oh, Adderall. I thought you said Adderall. I was a little confused. We can talk about that too, Caleb. But yeah, Jake printed me this, and then he also printed me, I don't want to grab it right now, it's up on my shelf, but he also printed me like a little, it's like a mushroom shelf, and it glows in the dark. So I can like mount it. I'm going to mount it somewhere back on my wall here and put something cute on it, like a little plant or something. And we're going to have a glow in the dark mushroom on the wall. Lurking because I'm prepping for my first project with my 5th graders next week. Oh my gosh, that sounds like, okay. Is 5th grade still like 10 to 11 years old in Norway? I don't know if the years are slightly different there. I think they're still the same. But that's so exciting. Let me know what the project is. I'm still a teacher nerd, so I love hearing about this kind of stuff. 5th graders are so much fun, though. I really loved 5th and 6th grade when I was teaching. Like I said, if it was just teaching, that would have been a dream job, truly. But alas, here we are. What else do we have to talk about? Yeah, I had a crazy couple weeks. Apologies for taking last week off. It was just, I was so behind on stuff, and we just, like, it's sandwiched between, like, 2 really big weekends. We had our festival weekend a couple weekends back. We ended up having, like, an unexpected ER visit with our daughter. She's totally fine. It was just, like, us being worried as parents, I think, more so. She woke up with, like, a crazy breathing sound, and we're like, is this RSV? Is this like, her O2 levels are fine, but do we take her in? So we just took her in. She was fine. It's just a developmental thing. And they just pretty much reassured us, gave her a nebulizer, and sent us home. So she's fine. She's been okay since. And yeah, it was a nothing burger, truly. But scares the crap out of me as a mom. So that was, emotional and whatnot. So I had that happen. Then we had the big festival weekend. We had a bunch of people at our house. We ended up keeping her here with us, and just took turns, being the responsible parent and whatnot. And Yeah, so she got to hang out for our festival weekend, which was fine. It's mostly family that comes anyway, so they were excited to see her. And then I have two friends that have birthdays like back to back, so we celebrated them this past weekend. And then my brother flew into town, and so I've been visiting him. He lives in LA, so I don't get to see him very often. And yeah, he comes back to Minnesota like once a year. So yeah, that's been my week. And then finally, like today, I was like planning the days I'm going to go back to my hometown to go visit him and his wife and the rest of our family over there. And I'm like, well, I can't Wednesday. Wednesday's just going to be my stay at home and get back into, streaming and content. I've taken like a 2-week break, I think, from content, which has been nice and needed, I think, with just everything going on. And now I'm like, I feel so refreshed after that. So no, it was good. It was good. So far I can see everything on, I don't know if I can see TikTok, unfortunately, if there's any TikTok messages. That's my only issue right now. Let me see if I don't really want to look at it right now. They're turning 11. Okay, so yep, it's about the same years as, it is the same age group for us. They're going to make 3D Easter eggs and Easter chicks decorations only using geometric shapes out of paper. I had to figure out something that's adaptable enough since a lot of my students are on different skill levels. Yep. Oh, that's so exciting. What a fun project for them. I'm just rereading it again because I'm like conceptualizing it now in the classroom. No, that sounds, hopefully projects. Yep, fine motor skills, which is, I don't know if you guys have noticed that over in Norway. Huge kind of delay in motor skills for us. I just don't think it's as focused on in elementary anymore. I think it's more like, standardized testing skills is what they're pushing. And so fine motor skills get pushed to the side. That's something like even with my 5th graders, I'd love doing those kind of projects with them just to give them practice with it. Typing's one thing, but manipulating things with your hands is a whole other thing. And it was just, I remember as a kid, that was like most of our work in school growing up, and it's just not that much as a focus anymore. But yeah, great practice for them. And they'll love it too. It's so nice to just not have a screen in front of your face and just create something. I remember in kindergarten I had to call home because I didn't want to do the art project of making a chick with glue and ripped up paper because I thought it was too hard. Uh-oh, Anya. You're going to have that kid tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. Caleb. Mom, my tummy hurts. That's funny. Most of the kids in my class can't cut rounded edges or keep anything straight or like coloring in the lines sometimes too. And I'm like, I just didn't realize how much practice we got with that kind of stuff growing up. And so, yeah, it's important. That's something like even with like, I was up here earlier with my baby just getting set up for stream. I had to like download the update and get the new game installed and everything like that. So she was up here with me and I have my like coloring stuff back here and I just pulled out some of it for her and I was like, why not, get her started. She's 1, but never too early. I just realized I need to turn on my candles. There we go. I love battery powered candles. And I'm over here being taught cursive when I was 8. Us too. And honestly, like I love it because I feel like I got a very unique like handwriting style because of it. And now they just teach printing and they don't even like spend that. It's kind of like a good enough standard now before they like get into typing, and they don't even really prioritize typing either. It's just like, here's your Chromebook, type what you can. There just needs to be a bigger focus on fine motor skills. That's really going to affect, things. I just wonder how it's going to affect, our world kind of moving forward, since it seems to be a global thing, or at least a Western thing, Northwestern thing. That was 3rd grade for me. I can read it still, but I can't do much more than my name nowadays. Mine, like, I think my handwriting took on like a hybrid of print and cursive. Like my I's and my E's are cursive, but like my other stuff is typically print. And it's legible, but I remember like there'd be sometimes where I'd put something like with an IE on the end and just do the cursive version, and my students would be like, Miss Hemp, I can't read what that says. And I'm like, it's still similarly enough shaped that you can, use context clues and kind of figure it out, but it was one of those things that didn't occur to me that I have a hard time reading like true cursive, like grandma writing in my card cursive. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful handwriting and kind of a lost art, I think. But yeah, it takes me a little, I have to slow down to read it. But yeah, I feel like mine's like a pretty good like hybrid between the two, pretty legible, and it was something that would throw my students off. So just those things that you don't think about generationally that changes from one generation to the next, and how learning changes and how priorities change and that and whatnot. So interesting. One other thing I need to see. Can I run alerts? I just want to see what it looks like, because what it did was it took everything and put it into like one window chat together. And I just want to make sure I can still see alerts. Oh, here, I think. Can I add this? Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. One thing I did learn today, though, is that iPads, what your school uses, is more dyslexia friendly, and there's quite a few kids at school with dyslexia and other learning abilities. That's interesting. I don't think our Chromebooks were very dyslexia friendly. There was a font that I could, if I suspected a student might be dyslexic, but maybe I don't think I ever had a student who was truly diagnosed as dyslexic. But sometimes students would say things like, it feels like my numbers are moving, or like, the letters are switching places. And I'm like, okay, let's refer this kid real quick. But also in the meantime, let's try, I think it's Dyslexie is the name of the font. That kind of like helps keep the letter stationary for him. So I could kind of show him how to like, transition a document into that, but it wasn't the most conducive process, and it was really hard for like a 5th or 6th grader to learn. Otherwise I could just like print it off in that font and it seemed to, make somewhat of a difference. But that's really interesting that iPads are. I wonder if I know that those are used more at like the elementary levels for us, but that's really interesting. And I'm sure it's like easier to like zoom and like manipulate too on an iPad versus like a Chromebook. I did not love our Chromebooks. I think they could have been better, but is what it is. I'm not there anymore, so it doesn't matter. I just remember having to do distance learning on a Chromebook, and that's before I had now I have like a laptop docking station where back when I was like working, I could just hook my gaming PC up to it and use my monitors, and then hook my work PC up to it and use my monitors. I couldn't imagine having 2 monitors for distance learning. We had a Chromebook with like a screen this big. And I'm like managing like sharing my screen, Zoom, lessons, It was crazy. Okay. I just want to see. Also, remind me to rate a channel at the end of stream today. I've been forgetting every single time I've gotten off stream. I'm like, oh my gosh, we should have rated. What was I thinking? So remind me to raid someone. At the end of stream. I'm just trying to see where my alerts pop up for me. Like if you guys do a water sip or something, I don't know if I'm able to. Gosh, sometimes I can get it. I need to figure out how to get like just my Twitch thing up, because sometimes those pop up in a different window. But okay, you just redeemed cheers. I don't think it popped up over here. Are my alerts not working? Oh dear. It does pop up on my stream manager over here, so I can at least see that. But cheers, I have water. It's 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. We don't get more exciting than that. Also, I think I'm going to turn my mic down just a smidge. Let me know how my audio sounds. We might have to adjust it once we jump into the game, which will be like any minute now. I don't plan on sitting here chatting too much longer. I don't think I have anything else to like catch up on. I think that's it. But yeah, unfortunately, it does not show that alert. However, I wonder if I can set it up so that bits can be, or those, interaction things can be things that pop up on the screen and make a noise, just so I'm aware of them. I don't know if it's set up that way right now. But thank you, Caleb, for redeeming that, just so I could see what it looked like. I didn't know how to do it from my end. All right, so yeah, we'll just look into my sound alerts. I'm going to test one, and then we will get started. I suppose we need to replace our Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy sound. So if there's any suggestions for that, I'm open to changing up that one. It worked great for our last one, but could work for this one. Could work for this game. We are playing, again, Legends of the Crystal Skull today. We did a poll on Instagram, and it was a tie between that and Alibi. But today, it was supposed to be like a super blizzard here. It's our steep. Wait. Okay, we're keeping it. Never mind. Anya has spoken. We're keeping Ride a Cowboy. I think it can be pretty easily, I think it can be applied to other games as well. Sorry. I'm getting back into that streaming mindset. You can keep that blizzard. I want golf up here. What is it like up there? It's pretty cold here today. It's like 40s. We were supposed to get a blizzard. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen a blizzard with this level of threat. It said an extraordinary threat to life last night. We'd ended up not getting a drop of snow, not a single flake out here. Oh no, he's hot is a really good one. I'm going to write that one down. Sound alert. We watched like the first few episodes of the first season of SpongeBob yesterday. That is such a good show. That is such a good show. Like the first episodes are just banger after banger. Wait. Okay, it worked. We're good. Oh yeah, we have to rank the Formula One drivers. That's on my TikTok feed now. Like, that's a big thing. Influencers are talking about it. It's getting into my For You page. Below freezing, but no snow. Yeah, it's just cold here and gloomy. Anyways, that's what told me that we should start with Legend of the Crystal Skull, and then I'm so feeling an Alibi playthrough, but I think it needs to be nice outside. That's like a nice, like, springy summer game. Opening race was last weekend. My brother's really big into that, so I'm sure he'd be interested in what we have to say about it, too. How many are there? You said there's, like... Oh, no, that's just their numbers. Sorry, I'm looking at them. They all look so young, except for this guy. Nico Hulkenberg from Germany. He looks like he's got a good 20 years on everyone else. This weekend they're in China. Race starts. Do they go to like different locations each race? Is it like an around the world kind of thing? 20 on the current grid. Nope, I'll keep that page up. We'll probably jump into the game first, and then if we have time at the end, we'll see. Freya's naps have been very spotty lately. Going to sleep has been a little spotty lately, so we'll see how long we have. Fernando Alonso, he's much more aged. Okay, is he on here? Hold on. Let's share my screen. Who do we have? Where are we? So this is their like current rankings, I'm guessing. Or like who's coming in, at the top of the pack. This is the guy I was talking about. We're checking out Fernando Alonso. Where is he? Oh, yeah. He doesn't even look happy to be there anymore. I was thinking that too, Anya. We didn't add much towards the end of Shadow Ranch, But we do need to, probably not today. I want like a good weekend stream. If we get a good weekend stream coming up, I don't know about this weekend, potentially next weekend, where my husband can kind of, he's not even here today. So where my husband can kind of hang out with Freya and be, parent number one. That's a good time for us to do it just because then I'll have more time. Days like today, I'm like, I probably have a good hour and a half in me. We'll see. Been watching the NASCAR races again since their season started a while ago. Rachel, I know you said that you guys, your family kind of watches NASCAR. It's all kind of the same to me, but I am learning the difference now. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I'm going to switch back to this real quick. Again, we should be streaming on all channels. I'm really sorry, TikTok, if I'm not responding to chats right now because I'm not sure if it's pulling in TikTok chats. But just know we're thinking of you, and I'll maybe hopefully get that fixed. We'll see. Okay, let's get into it. Hopefully everything's good. The only issue, so I did that same windowed mode thing for Crystal Skull, like what I had to do for Shadow Ranch to be able to go back and forth between screens and actually make it work. Let me know how volume is. The only thing is if I click over into this screen, it does minimize the window. So we just might have that little glitchiness happen here and there. It's fine. Again, let me know how...
And be sure to check out my scrapbook.
Oh, we will, of course, check out the scrapbook. Of course, we'll have a look. Okay. I just need to use this thing. Yes, I'm pulling that out anytime that sound alert is redeemed.
And whatever you do, read what's in the file called case file. That will tell you all about the
Okay, I
mystery
think
I'm
it
about
might
to try to
be...
solve. If you think you're ready to dive into that mystery,
I just want to make sure it's not coming in through my mic. I might turn my mic down actually just a smidge. And that.
That was a little creepy.
Again, let me know how sound is, if you can hear all right, if I need to turn it up. We can manipulate this at any point, so it's not that big of a deal, but just wanting to... The ads... Oh no! Is it an ad break? Shoot! I should have just ran it. Hold on. I think I can do it from my phone. Are the ads themselves bad, you mean? Or is it like they just pop up at the worst times? It shouldn't be. I don't think I changed like the frequency or anything. I should just shut them off because I literally make like 5 cents a stream. You're not wrong. Also, like, if you're using your Twitch Prime for other people, I totally get it. I don't stream enough for it to maybe be worth it, so it's just a support thing if you'd like to. Yep. Nope, I don't even know who has my Twitch Prime right now. I need to go, like, look into that. It's definitely someone who I want to have it. I don't know if I've tuned into their stream for a while or if they've streamed, but I'm happy to just make sure that your Twitch Prime is being used. It's like free money for someone that you can support. So just use it. I don't care who you use it for. You don't have to use it for me. But I'm guessing we're back. Let me know how volume is. Let me just pull up.
That was a little creepy.
That's what the voice is set to for right now.
That was a little creepy. That was a little creepy.
And like I said, let's start going through the scrapbook. Of course, we'll have a look. Turbo. Oh, yeah. Does anyone use Twitch Turbo? I don't feel like I watch enough different people to invest in something like that. Same with, like, YouTube Premium or whatever to, like, not have ads. Like, that is something that I do watch enough YouTube, but it's one of those things where I'm just trying to have, like, the mental endurance to get through the ads until I can skip them. They were so bad in, like, November and December, though, that I almost caved and got YouTube Premium. Yeah, it's new, Caleb. It's basically YouTube Premium, but for Twitch, so you can just watch as many channels as you want without ads, and like I think you watching them still hopefully supports the channel. I don't know if just subscribing to someone is more valuable or what. I don't really know. I would have to look into the rates on that. YouTube Premium Family Plan has been for years now. Yeah, that is one thing that we just like got rid of all of our streaming services. We literally only have Amazon Prime because that's what I've always had. Amazon Prime. I don't even think it does for like 2 day shipping anymore, but it's just nice to have, especially with a baby when there's like, we just dropped a sippy cup on a walk yesterday. I can just order more and, you know, not worry about hitting like the $35 for free shipping or whatever. So, plus we watch a lot of like Amazon Prime Video. I'm watching Desperate Housewives on there right now. We're watching The Boys currently. They have Blue's Clues. They have SpongeBob. There's a lot of good stuff on there. And then we still pirate my parents' HBO Max because they haven't like set the rule where you can't like share between families yet. So we're bumming off them. But yeah, we literally only have like, are only paying for Amazon Prime out of streaming services right now. And I mainly watch YouTube besides that. That's the only way I can like see it being valuable, but so far I haven't caved. We're good. I don't get ads for any streamers that I watch though, even though I subscribe to one. Maybe it's different regionally, and it depends on like how they have it set up in their thing too, where sometimes they like roll ads at certain times or they just turn off ads. I don't know. Everyone, like, sometimes with friends I'm like, hey, do you need the password for this? If I'm like talking about a show with them, I'm like, yeah, I have it if you need it. I miss those times. I really miss just being able to subscribe to something at the most basic level and like give it to like 4 people in my life and we could all watch things on it. Good times. Streaming has really gone downhill. It's basically just like satellite TV now again, DVR and whatnot. You remember my old roommate a little bit with the girls, right, Caleb? Okay. Taking a little gander through. We'll just go quick because what do you have to click on? Okay. Take a little walk down memory lane while we're warming up to it. Thank you, Robin Hood. Fired up Netflix on my TV because I thought maybe I can get a 7-day free trial. Yes. We do the same thing too. We're just like, let's just wait and see if we can get a free trial for this or like cancel long enough. They will like, I think Netflix actually offered like, no, what was it? Was it Netflix? Something like that offered like a reduced rate and I couldn't believe it. No, it was something else. It was definitely not Netflix. I have to think about it, but it was something that was like a yearly subscription thing. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm canceling my free trial because it's too expensive. And they're like, we will give this to you for $5 a whole year, for a whole year. Was it the Sims resource actually? It may have been that for like downloading custom content. And I was like, obviously I'm going to spend $5 to have VIP membership for the whole year. It was something like that. But yeah, always like, you know, act like you're interested and then back out because sometimes they'll hit you with a really, really good deal. All of my former roommates have our services and we still share sometimes, but it's just a lot of logging in and out. Yep. We had that with like my brother-in-law's Disney Plus too. We just lost it. Unfortunately, we were like almost all the way through the Marvel movies and we got cut off. And it's just, $20 a month can add up when you have like 5 different streaming services. Ugh. Anywho, I opened Netflix to find Callie had signed into her account on it. So now F1 Drive to Survive Season 7, Episode 4 is first on her watch next. Oh, it's just looking at my emails. Luckily, they don't use it often. They prefer YouTube, and they watch it on my account. That's nice. Is Netflix set up now where, like, it only, like, funnels you into one account? Like, do you have to pay to have more than one account on there now? I don't even know anymore. We just had ours and, like, the kids' profile, but I never tried making, like, separate ones for each of us. We just watched the same thing, so. Anyways. Still a game I have not played all the way through. I have watched it all the way through, so I do know the ending now, but oops. Not my favorite, but I feel like this one really helped branch out from the rest. I got the best text ever the other day from a friend of mine. She's like, Maddie, the Nancy Drew games are on sale right now. Which one do I get? And I was like, oh my God, the day has finally come for a friend to ask me this question. And I sent her like a tier list that I saw someone make online that I like mostly agreed with, because otherwise I was going to send her like a whole novel. And I'm like, okay, I agree with this tier list. The S and A, you can't go wrong with those two categories. My personal favorites are these ones and these ones. And I was like, each one's like a different interest that you get to kind of dive into in a different location. So definitely like pick like something that, you know, is like somewhere you want to go or somewhere you want to experience. And you should be like pretty safe from there. I think she's like, okay, I'm between Silent Spy and Tomb of the Lost Queen. And I was like, Silent Spy is like, it's good if you've like played a few of the other games, because I just feel like there's a lot of context for it. I remember that's the game my husband picked to like play with me for his first Nancy Drew game, and it was just definitely harder for him to get into because there was just so much background information with it. So I was like, that one's like really good if you're into the series already and you just like want to know more about Nancy and her history and stuff. I think it's okay as a standalone game, but it's between like the plot being kind of complex and like the backstory being complex. I just think it's a lot for a first game. So she went with Tomb. And I was like, that's a good one. The puzzles are like achievable and it's, you know, kind of corny, but in a kind of fun way. I haven't held a conversation with that roommate in 15 months. Your only communication is what you've last watched on Netflix. This one I love because it takes place in Wisconsin and it has like the most killer menu of all time. Does anyone get, it's on TikTok. Ooh. What's the username? I think it's like, I need to think of the username. They're doing like, so you're having a final scene wedding and they do like a Pinterest board aesthetic of like what that wedding would look like and what the venue would look like and the food and all that based on each of the Nancy Drew games. It's like my favorite series right now. Great series, cursed vibes. You guys have heard me say that time and time again. This is one of the first Nancy Drew games I ever played. I thought about playing this one next. I just have such an itch for that. This place is like home to me. Ghost Dog scared the crap out of me, but grew on me. This game has always felt like a warm, cozy hug to me for some reason. I love wandering around this museum by myself for hours. I love the characters. I think this one's like very education heavy. It's very, lore heavy with the Mayan civilization, but I get warm fuzzies in my tummy when I think about that game. Ghost Dogs. Classic. Very first game I ever played. The dogs scared the absolute bejeebies out of me, and I had to like turn it off as a kid. I couldn't turn that computer off fast enough. Cursed vibes, but also still nostalgic. This is still one of the first games I played. Again, same as like Scarlet Hand for me. This is like a warm, cozy hug in a game. I want to take this vacation in my future. I love taking vacations based off video games. My husband and I and our roommate at the time, I think we were still like boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were all like living in this house together. We did a road trip to Colorado after playing Red Dead 2, and they had like some like similar names and stuff of where we visited. We went to like Estes Park area in Rocky Mountain National Park. It was like totally like a Red Dead 2-esque kind of vacation. So like I definitely want to take like a Danger on Deception Island themed vacation sometime out west. Still so hard to believe I scared myself so bad with those dogs no, I had genuine fear, like sweating and like heart beating fast. Like I still like almost have like a residual feeling of that because of that opening scene is just horrifying. They went too hard for the scene. If this is a kid's game, they went too hard for that opening scene. Obviously, best game. This is my S tier, top of the pack. Love this game. We've been through that heavily. Would be fun for stream. Would probably take me like a month to finish though. I've gotten the craving for this one again. I don't know if it's because it's so like spring vibes with like the lilac in and whatnot. Have gotten the, little tickle for that game again. Another great one. Good spooky season game too, but I don't know. It's great anytime. I like any kind of Old West style theme. That one and Shadow Ranch are like sister games for me. Another fun one for stream. Also thought about this one just because it's so bizarre and out there. love this game just because of like this could be a standalone game and just be so good. It's so bizarre. I also kept accidentally triggering the rotten wood. Yes, second chance, which made me think the dogs knocked the wall down and killed me. That's even worse, Rachel. No. Yikes. Oh no, we have a spam chat. Bye. Okay. Creature Capu Cave. This one's fun and like can stand alone on the vibes. The vibes alone are really good in this game. Very short game though, and I don't love that about it, but is what it is. We tried to finish this one. I do still have the save for it. It's still in existence. We can maybe come back to it someday. Maybe if it was actually blizzarding outside today, we'd hop in, but alas, not today. Okay. And that brings us to number 17, The Legend of the Crystal Skull.
Current assignment. What assignment?
I'll let Nancy do the talking.
Flying to New Orleans for a long weekend of fabulous music, sightseeing, and food. Okay, so I'm also going to visit Ned's friend, Henry Bolet, but only as a favor to Ned. Apparently, Henry's uncle just died, and he had to go down there for a couple of weeks. Ned says Henry's a nice guy, but kind of a loner who might appreciate a little company. So, the first thing I'll do is leave Bess at our hotel in the French Quarter and take a cab out to the mansion where Henry's staying. Ned called him and said I'd be coming. But once that's done, it'll be lazy les bon temps brûlés. The only bad news is the weather's not supposed to be that great this weekend. But what's a little stormy weather when you're in the heart of the Big Easy, right? Right.
Okay, so great vibes currently. Wasn't it just, I think it was just Mardi Gras like a week or two ago? I don't know. I know it was recent though. So that plus like the gloomy vibes today was perfect for this game. We have our emo king, Henry Bolet, with his guy liner. The game overall is very quiet. Okay, so let me bump that up. Oops. You know what? Let me do one thing real quick. So I'm going to bump the game volume up here. I'm going to move you guys here. And just to make sure, I know TikTok gets mad at you if people are, oh, sorry. I just realized you sent 2 messages for that, Rachel. I'm going to see if I can just get the chat up on screen over here. Because I feel bad if I'm neglecting people that are trying to talk to me. But we will mute. It's probably going to drive my CPU up, but is what it is. There we go. Okay. Should be good to go. Okay, something. Oh, that's good. I thought I was like ignoring you. Okay, and we can.
That was a little creepy.
Is that better? Let me know. I think maybe my mic can be turned down just a smidge. I just don't want it. Sometimes it gets like a little too better. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you for helping me with that. I always feel it's always really hard to test that from like this side of things. All right, let's get into it. We are already only 43 minutes into stream. I was hoping to start like 20 minutes ago, but conversation got good. Junior detective. We're not drawing the shades. My lighting is really nice in here right now. You won't be able to see me otherwise. But if you're watching, you can go ahead and draw the shades and make it a spooky experience for yourself.
Hello? Anybody here? Hi, the door was open.
doesn't hold a flame to Ghost Dog's opening scene. Not even close.
Here, drink this.
What is it?
Something that'll make you feel better. Drink it. Just a couple sips.
Now, if there's one thing you need to know about me, it's that I will never drink this juice. I will never touch this. Never.
No, thank you.
I don't care what playthrough
Don't let her
I'm
drink any of your widow
doing.
concoctions. Then I really will have to take her to the
She can
emergency
keep that
room.
green
You
stuff
just
to
go back
herself.
to your phone call and leave us be. Don't pay him any mind.
Where am I?
You're at Henry Bolet's house, dear, in the library. He and I carried you in here after I found you unconscious in the foyer.
Why is it so dark in here?
The electricity went out. Lightning must have struck a transformer somewhere. What happened? Can you remember?
Well, the front door was open, so I walked in, and then I saw this... Well, I saw a skeleton. And then he saw me. And then the light started flickering, and he threw something at me that exploded. Well, the smoke must have made me pass out.
You saw a skeleton?
I'm sure it was just someone, wearing a costume or something. I'm Nancy Drew, by the way. I came to see
Yeah, Kayla,
Henry.
would you eat the green
So we
juice?
surmised.
Or drink?
I'm Renee Amond. I'm Bruno
I know a lot of
Bolet's
stuff.
housekeeper. That is, I was.
Other people wouldn't.
This skeleton that attacked you, perhaps we should call the police.
No. No emergency room, no police. Things are complicated enough as it is.
Henry's feeling a mite
Do it,
overwhelmed.
no shame. He'll
Well,
knock it back.
You are looking much better, so I'm gonna get back to my plant potting. You need anything? I'll be outside in the garden.
I should
Which
call
is...
them.
Okay,
Them
I'll let
on
Henry
hold for
talk.
5
I'll let our
hours and see
emo
how
king
they
say what he has to say. Alright. Can I, No. I was like, maybe I can, pick it up and examine it after the fact. Caleb. So, my cousin, who's... Hockey Hero and I share a cousin. We share 4, actually. But one of the cousins has a drink he came up with. He never drank before he was 21. He was, good boy and all that, just like all of us, I'm sure. But once he turned 21, he got, really interesting, drink combination ideas. I forget, if someone gave him this idea or if he just, randomly tried it. But he did, a root beer a Malibu root beer. Malibu, coconut rum and root beer soda. It's so good. It's so good. And now that's whenever I go to a bar or something and someone asks my drink order and I blank out, I always go with that. And it tastes like a root beer float. It's so yummy. So anyways, last weekend I was celebrating with my friends up in Minneapolis, North Loop area. Fun fact, if anyone watches Love is Blind this season, we met 2 of the cast members out and about. We ended up at the same restaurant and then later the same bar as them. So it was Molly and Madison, I think, and they were really nice in person. So yeah, fun fact, if anyone watches Love is Blind, they are out and about in the North Loop of Minneapolis. It's the trendy neighborhood right now. But yeah, so we get to the bar there and I panicked and I ordered that, and the bartender's like, oh, I haven't heard of that one before, that's something interesting. And then she made it and she tried it and then handed it to me and she's like, oh my gosh, that's really good. So she really liked it, but I've never had a bartender try my drink before, so that was a new experience. But yeah, Love is Blind cast out and about. It was so funny because one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, what if we see them tonight? How cool would that be? And we walk out of the restaurant and they're leaving at the same time as us. It was wild. I had the biggest beef with Summer as a little kid. Yeah, same. I did not like Summer, and I think it's because I low-key had a crush on Henry. I was really I had my emo phase in middle school for sure. Nasty flavored liquor, dropped food, color turning foods. I'll put it down. Ew. Hey, respect though. Oops, I accidentally clicked the wrong screen. We're back. All right, let's get into it. Speaking of our emo king over here.
So,
Brooding in his
Nancy,
chair.
Nice to meet you. Ned sent you here to check up on me, huh?
He's kind of worried about you, that's all.
Ned's a nice guy. I mean, I really don't know him that well, just from school. But when
My
I mentioned
21st
that
birthday,
my
my
only living
stepdad made me a
relative just
Malibu
died,
pineapple
he was
juice
all
mix in
like,
Malibu.
"Yeah?
Oh,
How
you didn't
feeling,
like it?
man? You doing
That's
okay?
like
Wanna
probably one of my
talk?"
favorite like
Of course, I guess I do
liquors
come
to
across
drink.
as a little needy
I love the
sometimes.
tropical coconut taste. No, that's like my perfect drink right there, Rachel. More often than not, it's browning lettuce that my roommates pass on to me. How kind of them. Honestly, browning lettuce, or like if lettuce gets a little bit of rust, I think it's just more of a visual thing than anything. It doesn't bother me too much. I drank it because it was made for me, but no thanks. What kind of stuff, like, did you find like anything that was kind of your taste, or was it just kind of not for you? Because I know, like, I was that way, especially at first, and now, like, I like dark beers and stuff like that, and whatever. Your palate expands as you get older. Now do that Malibu root beer, but put the ice cream. Exactly. Like, Tanner and I are like, we need to actually try that sometime, because that sounds like it would be delicious. It's such a good drink. You wouldn't think it is, but it's so yummy. All right. Sorry, Henry, we kind of ignored you there. Henry Bolay is to Ned what Malloy, what's the girl's name in Malloy? What she is to Nancy, where she like stayed with like Nancy for her foreign exchange year, and was like, Nancy, you are my best friend forever. You are gonna be the maid of honor in my wedding. And I love that Nancy's like, yeah, I don't really know her that well. Like, we weren't really that close, but obviously I'm gonna do it because I'm Nancy Drew and this is what I do. I can sniff a mystery from a mile away, or from like 4,000 miles away. When I was little, I'd take sips of Mike's Hard Lemonades are so good, though. And then, like, we got into college and stuff, and that's what we'd drink. And I think back on that, and it just makes me so physically ill to think about, like, how sugary those are and how, oh my gosh. But no, as a kid, like, or like little, like, what are they called? Like wine coolers. Oh my gosh, if you got like a sip of that, those things were so good. That made me understand like why the grown-ups would drink. I was like, okay, yeah, if it's that yummy, obviously. I remember, again, being Catholic, you have to do your first communion in like second grade, so you're like 7 or something. And I remember my mom, because she didn't want me to like go up and take a sip of the dry church wine for the first time. You have to drink the wine in the Catholic Church. I think so. I think you still do. I don't know. Back then you had to, though. You take like the little communion wafer and then you sip from the communal wine glass that the entire congregation would drink out of. But she was like, Maddie, the wine does not taste good, so I just want you to practice with mine real quick, and you cannot make a face. And like each time I'd be like, and she like, nope, just a tiny, like, just let it touch your lips. Don't even take a sip. Like, just pretend to drink if it's that bad. So I had to like practice ahead of time and took like teeny tiny little drops of wine in that practice. I haven't really drank much at all, but I had to try the cursed Budweiser's mango wheat. It's like a horrible, with a breath of mango is like the worst way to describe that. That sounds awful. I'm not a really big Bud drinker. Luckily at church Lutheran, we dipped the wafer in. The dipped wafer, we used to dip ours in grape juice. I would go home and eat that as a snack. I always thought that was so yummy. In fact, I think we still kind of do it sometimes at our current church. First communion had a practice taste. And that's smart. See, that's smart. Because, yeah, kids don't know how bad that stuff is before they go up and have to take it. Okay, how are we playing? I think Nancy's going to be open to this game, but she's going to be sassy when she needs to be. I think that's the
you
Nancy
very
we're
close
playing
to your
this
uncle?
playthrough.
Great uncle Bruno, and no, I wasn't. My parents died in a car crash when I was 8. Since I had no other relatives, he took me in, or should I say he shipped me out. Boarding school, summer camp, military school, college. He may have looked after me, but he never spent any time with me. I didn't know him at all.
Womp, 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 womp. All right, so Henry's trauma dumping right away. No, He's just, as I've gotten older and played this game, he just becomes such a drag. And he's my emo king, but like he's definitely an emo king. Our first communion, they gave us a little glass that we decorated with puffy paint, and it was our own. We also made our own. That's kind of cute, actually. That's a fun craft. The fancy communion days, we'd all get little cups, and they had the grape juice option for people who wanted it. Yes, like the little, they're like this big. We get those for like church and stuff on the big days. Or for like Christmas. I think I just said church. Sorry. Anyways.
Yet you came all the way down here for the
We're
funeral?
curious this playthrough.
Not
We're
really.
asking the big
Great
questions.
Uncle Bruno named me executor of his estate, which means I have to make sure all his bills are paid and debts taken care of so his assets can be distributed. Unfortunately, he couldn't have cared less about little things like keeping records or balancing checkbooks. Dealing with his creditors and their lawyers has been an absolute nightmare. So, thanks for stopping by, Nancy. And now you can report back to Ned that I'm fine and go enjoy New Orleans.
Okay, we can sympathize with that, Henry. I would also be really upset if that was put on my shoulders. If there's anything I hate, it's stuff like that, like dealing with the paperwork and the, da-da-das. I can totally understand why he'd be upset about that. To be so real, it's messed up that he never told right? Like, that is something that you absolutely need to let someone know so that they're mentally prepared for when that happens, and maybe just have a nice file, ready to go so they know who to call and what to do when the time comes. No, I would actually be really pissed. I would be really pissed. You report back to Ned that I'm fine and go enjoy Well, do we want Henry to know that he's kind of a drag? Is that the kind of playthrough that we're doing here? Also, I don't think I've missed any alerts or anything, so let me know if I do. Just because, yeah, they don't pop up on this, and that's kind of annoying. I think I can make it so that they do, though. Let's just realize one of my mom's life insurance policies was never cashed, and they were collecting money. Ooh, that's such an and then having to, like, go through and, like, backtrack everything and just, oh my gosh, nope, those are just huge, like, mental frustrations, I think for anyone, but, like, I do not do well with that kind of stuff. I can do it, I just hate doing it. Nope, it can just be so, especially when you're really going through something at the same time, that can just be so mentally exhausting.
No, I can't. Not until I know who that skeleton man was and what he was doing here and why he knocked me out like that. Look, I can understand you're not wanting to call the police, but somebody should investigate. And since playing detective is kind of a hobby with me...
No offense, but are you sure you didn't just pass out from the heat and humidity or something and dream that you saw the skeleton dude?
Hold on, I'm writing down the title. No, Nancy,
I'm positive.
be sure of yourself.
Okay, look around all you want. But I should probably warn you, Uncle Bruno was into exotic pets. Didn't believe in cages, so he gave him the run of the place. And just because he's dead doesn't mean they are. So if you're gonna go poking around, be careful.
Love it. All right, we've got some exploring to do. I do forget how totally dark this game is. I don't think that there's a way to, like, turn the brightness up even. They're right when I think that was, like, their cop-out at the end when they realized how dark they made this game. They're like, let's tell them to play this with the curtains shut so that we don't get as many complaints about how dark this is. All right, where to first? So we are in the library currently. Oh my gosh, I almost do have to shut my curtains for this. These interesting books that look like they'll be a puzzle eventually. This is a game that I've played, probably like 3 or 4 times. This is just a nice one to play on a nice rainy day. So anytime it's like gloomy and I'm feeling up for a mystery, like this is the one that I usually go to. So I've played it enough times to kind of know, like, I know, like, who the culprit is and all that kind of stuff. But it's one of those games that I'm not super privy to all the puzzles and clues. So some of it's going to be new to me again. It's one of those where I used to turn the monitor brightness up. I think mine's up all the way. I always keep mine up. I'm just a person that can't see very well when it's dark. Low rolling. This is the game with all the eyes, that's right. So, one of the mechanics, one of the puzzles in this game is finding, like, what is it, like 32 eyes or something like that? It's a crazy amount. You have to find, so Bruno Bollet had a fake eye, but he had, like, a lot of fake eyes, and you have to find them all by the end of the game to complete a puzzle, which I don't mind, like, a scavenger hunt style of gameplay like that. I'm happy Her Interactive didn't do it a whole lot, though. They like putting, like, oh, you have to find X amount of items in quite a few of their games. I feel like this one is, like, really, the whole game kind of, like, depends around it a little bit. So I don't mind it. It's not my favorite kind of game style, but like I said, I'm happy that they didn't do it more than with, like, a few games. I think it was, like, what, 2 or 3 had it where, like, the gameplay really depends around it. All right, let's leave the library and go check out this mansion, which it drives me crazy that they call it a mansion because we've got this room here. Why are we leaning? We've got this room here, and then we've got, like, a couple of doors upstairs. So, townhouse, yes. Mansion, not really. There's no kitchen. There's no true dining room. This also drives me crazy with Her Interactive games is when they, like just put a door that I can't go into. I would rather know where the kitchen is and not be able to get into it than be made to believe that there's just no kitchen or bathroom at all. That's odd to me. Okay, so now we are back to the main room where we encountered our skeleton friend. Yuck. And we found a clue. We've been watching a lot of Blue's Clues lately. I think it's more for me than for my daughter at this point. That show is so OG Blue's Clues, not the new one. The new one's, like, scary and overstimulating. Don't enjoy it. It's just really bright and obnoxious. Oh. But I love the structure of that show. Again, educator background, so I love, you know, when media education and stuff like that. But we've been watching a lot of Blue's Clues lately, and I have loved it. And with Nancy, it's just, you know, Blue's Clues, Clue, finding clues, all that. Like with the clock and Blackmore, they both have excuses why the kitchen. Exactly. And I appreciate, you know, whatever. If there's I don't even need the backstory. I don't even need, like, a fire happened because of Jane or something like that. Like, just let me know where it is so when I go to build this in Sims later on, I have a reference point and I don't have to use my imagination. But yeah, calling this a mansion is pretty generous of them, I think. Okay, I'm just lurking now. Need to get some stuff up on Marketplace to scrape together another 600 to buy the pre-64 Winchester Model 94 3030 that I found at the $600. Wow. Hey, that's something to save up for, though. Yeah, you get on that, Caleb. I've been seeing listings from you on there. Let me know. Does it help if I like them? I don't know if that ever, like, boosts it in Marketplace or something, but if it does, let me know so I can do that. Okay, so we have this bird drawing figure with a footprint on it. Another clue. Okay, we have a missing portrait. And we have one of my favorite features in this game. And that is the Bruno Bollet, the 3D modeler, as we got from the trophies in the library, loves making minis, which if I had a 3D printer, you bet I'd be making things like this. Like for D&D campaigns and stuff, I would love to have something like this someday, where you can, like, 3D print your own little, like, landscape map for, like, you know, D&D style play. Love it. Not sure. Do it anyways, though. Yeah. If you message and we chat enough, you can give me a 5-star. Oh! I'll, like, shitpost you on there or something so I can do that. Okay. So we have Can we drag around or do we... Oh. I forget it. You interact with it like this. Did not need to do that twice, though. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. So, yeah, we have all the different, like, neighborhoods, I guess, of the cemetery. Aha, so we have, this looks like it correlates to the bird that we just found. Not sure what it is or where it needs to go yet, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Sorrow Park. The Whomping Willow, as every cemetery needs. I love the names. Take the place you want to be buried, right? I want to be in the Crowing Crypts. I like Terra Siesta, though. That does sound like a nice place to go when the time comes. Pre-64 for 600 is nuts. I think the owner doesn't know it's pre-64. Okay. Usually they're like 1K. I bought a gifted it to my grandpa, but it didn't have a scope on it, and this one does. Ooh. That is a really good deal then. Yeah, you need to get on that Facebook Marketplace. Hey, another eye. That grind ASAP. Also, we should probably do another Jackbox night or something sometime soon. Okay, I think, is that all there is? Nope. Cute. I don't know if that's for anything, and if I need to remember that it does that, but... Ooh, Writhing Roots. Not a bad... Actually, I don't want to be buried in Writhing Roots. Seeping Meadow sounds gross. Why does it feel like there's a hierarchy to the neighborhoods of the cemetery? Alright. Isn't Tanner a bit of a gun nut? He might know too. He thinks they're interesting. We have a neighbor who totally is, though. And just for, like, context, like, gun ownership is a very normal thing around where I live. We're in a very rural area, lots of hunting and stuff like that. So I know sometimes that can be, like, a sensitive topic for people. But, no, he's into it. Our neighbor has, I don't know, all I know is, like, he has a handgun that's, like, for, like, a huge caliber. He's like, yeah, that thing ever accidentally goes off, it's gonna blow a hole in your wall. And I'm like, ah. It's huge. It's like a comically large handgun. One time when going through the death registers in the game, everyone in a stream looked for their birthday twin. We looked for who died on our birthday. Oh, we need to do that. That sounds really fun. I love the death registers. In fact, where is it? Okay, what's everyone's birthdays? Do these go in order? I don't think they do. We're finding our death twins. And the fun thing about this... Oh, we have a Halloween birthday. Quincy Garrett and the 40 Winks. Yours is Peter P. July 3rd. You're in the Crowing Crypts. Kayla, where are you at? August 4th. Larry Michael. You're in Writhing Roots. Sorry, bud. Peter P. I don't know if mine's... Okay, we're looking for October 25th. October 1st, 14th. Do they have every date in here? Another October 31st. Jared Fitzroy. That's crazy, you guys, as we're both on the first page. Another October 31st. Ernie Farley. We're close. I do feel like October 25th is one of those birthdays that a lot of people have. I share it with, like, a whole bunch of people that I know in real life So it's kind of fun because, like, I don't talk to these people very regularly anymore, but it's like a given every single year on our birthday, we wish each other happy birthday. Like, there's like, on Facebook, when it like tells you everyone's birthday, there's like 6 or 7 of my friends that I share birthdays with. So I talk to them once a year. Oh, close. My remains. My remains. Doesn't that sound like something? I sold enough yesterday. I'm halfway to my... That's awesome, Kayla. What a grind, but I'm sure it's like... It just sounds like really, like, fast turnaround. October 5th. October 20th. Oh, come on. I don't think we're going to get it, guys. Also, for when the time this... Nope, not for me. I don't have a place in the cemetery. Again, another fun-looking house, too. Oh, this puzzle. Okay. So this is a puzzle where you need to be able to... I think, do we need to move this thing over to the eye to collect this eye? Again, I think there's like 32 eyes to collect in total. If you want to hear quite a name, I passed the Skinner Funeral Home on a drive. Not the Skinner Funeral Home. Oh, ick. Ew. They had to have known that they couldn't, like, change it to the maiden name or something, or a different family name, because that is just... I would name it Writhing Roots, you know, Funeral Home before I name it Skinner. Yuck. Okay, so... Oh, I can use my keyboard for this. That's nice. So we need to move with our little, like... I just, like, think of him as, like, the chest bump guy, where he just... hopefully that's his chest. But we need to... I'm trying to think. Okay, I think I'm remembering how to do this puzzle. So we need to roll the marbles, which are like the queen and chest, where they just go like, they can go all the way through, but they only go all the way through. This thing only moves one space at a time. The ball will just keep rolling until it comes into, you know, what Murphy's Law or whatever, until it comes to a stop. So we need to use this thing to be able to, get through here. I'm thinking ahead. Do I need to use that little block for this area of the puzzle? So my plan is we're going to bump this guy right here so that we can roll this ball here, and then we're going to bump this guy. I think we can push him over to this one without getting zapped. So we can push him here and then hit the marble to stop right here. Takes care of both of those lasers. However, this ball gets a little hairy because we need to be able to push it to right here. And I don't know if we need this guy in order to make that happen. Much to think about. Much to think about. Okay. Let's at least get this guy in place first. And I think I want him up here. Run down here. Boom. Reminds me of the hamburger slider minigame and the Papa games. My faves are Wingaria and... What are those games? This is like scratching a memory that I have. Papa games. I need to look these up real quick. Oh! Like mobile games, right? Flash game, yep. Okay, that's coming back to me now. I grew up in the best time period because we were old enough to like be able to find like those Flash websites to be able to play games on, but like it was early enough in the computers being in school time period that we got to just like play them and teachers didn't care. Like nowadays it's like you can like lock that stuff down and like deny access, and there's like a lot more cybersecurity that goes into school internet connection stuff. And no, I was part of the group that we just got to play those games. One of them was a McDonald's simulator game. I do remember that one. There's like another one that was like super gory and violent that we should not have been playing in 4th grade, but we were. Preferred it. Cool math games. Yes. I think my students or my old students could still access that, but it was like very limited. Preferred it on the unblocked website so I could name my characters. The OG Cozy Gaming. Okay, so we're gonna push him over to come down here, and then we can bop. And now we have that, but now the square is stuck. So now I'm just thinking, how do we roll this guy? Because what I'm thinking is boom, boom, boom. But then he's gonna roll here. And I can't really do anything because he's kind of stuck then. So we can't have that. When I was in first grade, we got to play this like drawing game. Kid Pix. Oh my god, Caleb, Kid Pix. I think about this game like all the time. I can't go around these days saying you used to have Kid Pix on your PC. No, but when you find someone who remembers Kid Pix, I spent hours on Kid Pix. We were like an early PC gaming family. We had a PlayStation 1 and we always prioritized having a computer. Like, we did not grow up rich by any means, but like we always prioritized having a computer and a gaming console in our home, and obviously changed my life because here I am now. But one of the ones on our old Macintosh, like, you know, 3D computer, not, you know, nice flat monitors, no, like the glass screen that you could knock on. Kid Pix was one of them, and I remember like the explosion, how it like ripples out and like clears everything when you like erased it. Oh my gosh, I loved Kid Pix. The sounds, sometimes I see them, like I get like a nostalgia gaming account on my TikTok feed every once in a while, and I love it. They'll like play the sounds again, they just like come right back to you. My FBI agent is probably in route as we speak, right? Transparent Shell Mac, that was all our computer lab had growing up in elementary school. YouTube being blocked made me so sad my freshman year of high school because halfway through the school year, I couldn't watch Crash Course videos anymore. Like, suddenly the whole channel was blocked inside of just flagged content, which was a good section of the Crash Course literature lesson. Yeah. Those, I remember those. I think I even, like, showed them educationally, like, later on in life. But, no, I remember when, like, everything got blocked at our school. But we also, it was, like, the first year that 3G was a thing on phones, or like internet on your phones that you could go on to like websites with, or like have apps for and stuff. So if you were able to just go on like your network, they couldn't block it. Purple Place and 3D Space Cadet Pinball. Yes, both of those. Purple Place, is that the one that had like, you could like, it had like the Cake Factory? Is that right? That one was on my grandma's computer. And 3D Space Cadet Pinball, my family would routinely try to beat each other's high scores at. Like, we were always trying to knock each other's scores out on there. So good. Windows XP is still my favorite operating system. It's superior in all ways. Cake Factory, Address Place, and yep, and there was like 3 places on the map, but the Cake Factory I think was like here on the map, and me and the boys would play that for hours. Our cousins would play it for hours. Okay. So I do think I messed up here. What can I do? What can I do? I don't think I can. I know what I did. We have to restart. So we need to actually do this again. But It would be a mythical pull, and I don't think we've ever talked about it, like, since we played it together, but it'll come back to them, because they used to fight over that freaking game on Grandma's computer. My grandma still has her old, like, Gateway. That was a computer brand. It had, like, the cow print. The old Gateway computer, I think she still has hooked up downstairs in case we ever want to play on it. And now I, like, actually think I need to. I'm going back tomorrow to go see my brother that's, you know, home right now. I'm going there tomorrow, and I think Sam's going to be there tomorrow too, Caleb. So I'll have to, like, see if he wants to, like, fire it up with me and see what's still on there. We used to play hours of Mahjong, and we'd listen to the Dixie Chicks. The Chicks. They're called the Chicks now, but back then they were not. Hours of the Chicks while playing Mahjong on there with my aunt. No, I'm gonna have to go check that out. I think Purple Place was like on like the newer computers, though. I don't know if that one was on the old Gateway. But there's like some other old games. Old games. Oh my gosh, I have to go rate her old games. I've really like come to appreciate nostalgia gaming and like preservation of those things as time's gone on. Okay, sorry, I'm actually figuring... My dad worked for Gateway before it dissolved? No way. That is lore right there. That's so interesting. Did they just, like, go away or did they get bought? I'm assuming they got bought out by someone, but, like, I just remember, like, Gateway was, like, it for, like, a good 5 years in the 2000s and then never... They were, like, the trendy computer, it felt like. A bomber jacket that they gave to employees still, and that is actually a super cool thing to have. Talk about like a vintage find that you'll never... Is it vintage now? God, I hate that. Talk about a vintage thing that no one else, like, that is such like a limited item that so few people have. I bet that's so cool. Played Candyland and some multi-card games on Windows 98 on my mom's side. I didn't have a No. I may have played that. I think there's something like animated about Candyland that's running around in my head right now. Windows 98. Mwah. Beautiful. Web TV. I don't remember Web TV. I don't think. But like we had like obviously like the classic like Minesweeper. What else? Solitaire and Spider Solitaire. I got my grandma hooked on that, so she always had to play like... I'd always go over for sleepovers. She lived like a few blocks away from my parents' house where I grew up. So I'd always go over there for sleepovers. And every single night before we went to bed, she would always have to play a game of Spider Solitaire on there. Or was it... There was another card game. I think it was a different card game. But yeah, she'd always have to play a game before bed. So I'd always have to like sit in the dining room with her and like wait for her to finish her game and then we'd go to bed. Okay. I need to be using my brain here. I think I have an idea. I don't know. I'm thinking big brain energy right now. I think first I should really get this thing in place. Hold on. Is that what I wanted to do? I think so. Because I think I want to use this block to go block this and use this to actually push right here if possible. What happens if the balls hit each other? Do they both roll? I think I just messed up. Actually, no, I think we're okay. Okay, so we are gonna do this. No, because now I can't push that out anymore, can I? Unless I do this. Beautiful. Okay. Sweet. I guess we've received, I don't know, I just got a notification that we got 100 messages. Okay. The grandparents had the Card Royale games. I loved playing those when I went to their house. There was another one. It's not Solitaire, but it's another like single player. I can't think of what it is right now. It's a kind of a popular game. And then she also had this fantastic, like it was a PC like CD game that had all of the different like board games on there. So it had like Parcheesi, it had Backgammon, it just had like all those kinds of games. We would play that for hours. Free Cell. I think it was Free Cell. Linda plays so much Free Cell. I'm sure she could be top 100 in the... What is it with grandmas and Free Cell? My grandma... I think, like, Pam could probably rival Linda. Do they know about each other's Free Cell addictions? I don't think my grandma plays it still anymore, but... Hold on. Hold on here. Hold on. Sorry, I just saw something. Look at us. It's a great day. Um, okay, good. They do stop. Yep. Yep, they do. Oh, I almost messed up and pushed it into the corner. That would have been bad. I think my grandma has that board game too. Basically the same thing as the card one. Played that hard hearts. Yep, yep. Or like you get like the like kit of like 7 different games, but they were like mini versions. Okay, so we have to be insanely careful about how we push this thing because we could get it stuck. So I think I can come at it like this. Okay, we're figuring the puzzle out. We're getting it. Come through here. Ooh, I don't like that, but I think I know what to do. Come through here. Come through here and come... I know it's only junior mode, but I'm really proud of myself for that. Do you guys ever think about how there's so many things about... Or there's so many things that Nancy could just break open if she had a sledgehammer and save herself however long that took us. Obviously, we had a conversation at the same time. But do you ever just think about how many things, if Nancy was more destructive and careless as a person, we could get through these games so much. Nancy and a sledgehammer. She always has everything in her bag but a sledgehammer. Or a crowbar. Just to like... Or, like, sometimes, like, I always think about the one puzzle in Ghost Dogs where you just unscrew the latch on the locked case, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being locked. But, like, yeah, theoretically, I could just grab an axe and chop that, you know, trunk. It's like a wooden trunk in the shed. Just chop it open and get what I need instead of having to do a puzzle. But, yeah, it's like she did that once and, like, forgot that she can just force entry into closed objects. It's not like she's dealing with safes very often or things that are, like, indestructible. She can just... But I appreciate that she's careful enough and doesn't want to, like, cause more harm than she needs to. Hoyle card games and Hoyle board games are what my family had. Now I need to look that up. Thank you, Rachel. Especially that stupid box under the... Yes, like, just grab a rock, you know? Just grab a rock and... Who else is going to be using it? It was only intended for Frances. You're lucky I'm even here. Why use a magnet when she... Yeah. When... The sound of that magnet picking up and dropping just, like, haunts my dreams. Okay, Hoyle. Hoyle. H-O-Y-L-E. Hoyle. Why can't I type? Yes, like the little, like, card packs and stuff like that. Yes. Those are, like, staples that I need to tell my parents that they need to start, like, having more things. We have, like, all of our old school games yet, but they need more things like that on hand. So when my daughter and, you know, her future siblings go over, that's, like, the kind of experience that they need over there. They need that vintage, like... I keep saying vintage as I describe how I grew up as a child, and it's actually kind of killing my soul right now. A different one. It was a similar one to that. My grandma still has it downloaded somehow. That's actually how? Elf bowling. Oh my gosh, Elf bowling where you'd like, and there was like another one that was like, it wasn't billiards. I don't think that's what it's called, but it's like, it's similar to curling where you like shuffleboard. There we go. There's a shuffleboard one, and the elves were wearing, like, these little panties, and you would, like, snap their panties, and they'd go flying down, like, the bowling track, and, yeah, it was, like, Santa versus, like, Kris Kringle, no, like, Bad Santa, I don't know what the Bad Santa's name was, but, Elf bowling, I forgot about that, oh my gosh, we thought that was, like, the funniest game that's ever been created. It was so crass, I loved it. American Girl dolls, newest historical dolls, were twins from 2000. Oh my gosh. Kris Kringle. Yep. Okay. I didn't know if that was like the same a pseudonym, but Power Up with the boxing gloves. Oh. I forgot about those games until now. Can you still download those? Okay. So we are up to what, 3 eyes already? And I like that it just compiles them, unlike in Shadow Ranch where it just keeps every individual arrowhead like sectioned out. Let's go snoop upstairs. We can go into this room. The scariest, you know those things that are like, you have to like rank based on TikTok? It's like a filter, but you have to like rank based on like places that you would sleep. This would definitely be lower on the list for me. Abandonware, okay. Have them on CD. Browsed eBay. There is a game that I think I finally found the first thing that I want to buy on eBay. And it is an old horse game. I think I mentioned it a stream or two ago. It's The Legacy of Rosamund Hill, like the Let's Ride horse games from the 2000s. That's like the only one I can't find on old games download. It's like the file just is not, I don't know. I need to figure out how to run it on my computer, but that is something I would totally buy. I need that game to be remade. Also, does anyone remember? I don't think we talked about this on a stream. Does anyone remember like the TV plug-in games? They had like Spider-Man, they had like a whole bunch of like different like, you know, superhero ones, but they also came out for girls. Like this is early girl-centered gaming. Actually, 2000s were a great time for being a gamer girl if you were into like the more like girl-coded games. You had the Barbie games, you had the Let's Ride games, you had the Nancy Drew games, you had this. It was a great time for PC games. People were spitting out games like they were taking breaths. It was crazy. But there was a TV plug-in game called Dream Life where you were like a girl in high school and you got to go shopping for your clothes and you got to get like after school jobs and activities and like you got to have boyfriends and best friends and go to events and like get dressed every day for school. That's another thing that I think I'm actually going to buy on eBay. I would love to have that game, like just for my daughter to eventually play. Super old school vintage style game. Vintage. Plugs into your TV. I don't even think our TV has the right plugins for that anymore. And then they also came out with another game called like Fashion Designer or Fashion Star or something like that, where you were a fashion designer and all you did was like customize clothes. It was just like Barbie fashion show, but like I felt longer. It felt like more included. And like each like fashion show had a different theme and you got to design clothes for it and unlock more as you went. Oh my gosh. I actually think I'm going to make a point to buy those off of eBay in the next year. I had a few of them. Yes. Oh my gosh. They had them on DS. Okay, I don't think I'm reading the right. One second here. I got to scroll up. So badly want a Wii in the old. Oh my gosh. The Wii Just Dance. Wii Fit was so much fun. Like, I just want Wii Fit, not for, like, I don't even know if there's really any exercise benefits to it, but I loved the ski jump and the balance. Oh, my gosh. Just Dance was so good. You'd hold, Wii Sports, so much fun. My cousins had the Wii. We never had a Wii, but my cousins did, so we would always play it over there. It was so much fun. Yep, old games download. Is it free and safe? For the most part, yes. I have never had an issue with it. However, it's one of those things that it's not like a highly maintained site. It's all abandonware. It's they're free because they're no longer being sold by the companies. Like the companies abandoned rights to it basically. Said we're not, putting this game anywhere for sale anymore, which means it can be downloaded for free without it being like pirating. Old Games Download is there to basically preserve these games. I've never had an issue with it, but, do a scan on your computer afterwards. I don't know. Like I said, I've never had an issue. For the most part, it's been safe. But that any site can be, compromised. I've had like the Sims resource where I get my CC from. Not the Sims resource. I think Mod the Sims recently had an attack where someone like hacked user profiles and put viruses or malware into the downloads. So something like that can always happen. It's always a risk, but for the most part, they do maintain enough to make sure that their downloads stay safe. So I would try it. Just, be cautious. But that's, again, with any site that you're downloading anything for free. The joystick ones, yes, Rachel. Basically your dealer, but for video games if you need a Wii. That's true, and actually, like, location-wise, you could make that work. us Midwest dwellers here. They had those on... I need to, like, look into, like, what all they had on DS. I have my DS still. I have... Oh, my gosh. My Cooking Mom, I have a Nancy Drew game on there. I need to, like, start making TikToks about those or something. I think that'd be fun. But I still have my DS, and it still works, and my Nintendogs hate me. Get Redbox rental games for the Wii when we visited my cousins, since they also had one. That is so fun. I remember, like... What was the one website? It was basically like old school Netflix for video games where they'd send you like a different video game every month. My eyeball, by the way, so we're up to 4. My husband got it. I thought I heard a noise. I think that was just thunder. My husband got it for like a Christmas gift one year, and he said he absolutely loved it. Hello? Gamefly, thank you. What a great idea for, like, at the time it totally made sense. Obviously today where you can just download anything onto your gaming device, or, you know. Can you still rent games? I guess you can get, like, Xbox Game Pass and stuff, and it's similar, but is Gamefly even still a thing? I wonder. Alright, did we look at everything back here? Oop, I don't really want to go in there yet. Actually, yeah, we do. Okay, let's take a peek at our checklist. I think my daughter woke up, but she's just like... I think it's picking up on the mic. She's just singing, making her noises. She's awake, so we'll probably have to stop playing soon, but hey, we got a good hour and a half in and almost a full hour of gameplay. I do have to be better about that next time. Oh, works well. That would make sense. That's a good idea too, because I hate that you can't have refunds on Switch. I love Steam because you're able to buy a game, and I think within 2 hours of playing the game, like 2 hours of gameplay or 2 weeks of purchasing, I believe, you're able to return it, which I think is a fantastic feature to have on a game, because there's definitely been games where, like, I thought it was one thing and it turned out to be a different thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I didn't just spend like $12 on this. I've been able to get it refunded and, you know, not feel like I cheated out the company or anything because I didn't like what I was playing.
Can't check that off yet.
Can't check that off yet. Okay.
Can't check that off yet.
Which order do these go in? Talk to Henry. Ditto when it comes to the... Okay. So it goes, this is first, and then this would be last down here.
Can't check that off yet.
Okay, so talk to the housekeeper. Take a really, really good look around the room where I saw the skeleton. The great room, which is maybe larger than the average living room. I don't know why we're trying to sell this as a mansion. I don't know why they're trying so hard to tell us that this is a mansion when it's so obviously not. Even if it had a kitchen and bathroom and stuff, I still wouldn't consider this like my house is bigger than this, I'm pretty sure. And my house is not that big. Yeah, we're really trying hard here to sell this as a mansion.
I haven't done that.
She may go back to sleep too. She's known to do that. Sometimes she just needs to wake up and sing a little song and she'll go back to sleep. So we'll see. Take a really good look around. Yeah. So we still have looking to do in the great room. Figure out what's up with the fake books in the library that can be pulled. That's a puzzle for later, I'm pretty sure. I think we need to find somewhere else first. Check out what's left of the receipt I found in the fireplace to see if maybe the... I just read that so wrong. Left of the receipt, so look at it and then maybe make some phone calls. Figure out the significance of that tracing I found in the room where I saw. Kind of figured that out because it has to do with the
Still have to do that.
cemetery building. See if anyone knows why one of the picture frames on the wall of the great room is empty. Ask Henry what's up with the scale model of that cemetery. So we definitely have to talk to Henry. We definitely need to talk to Renee. And we definitely need to talk to Bess. Hopefully before the end of stream. Yeah, she may have fallen back asleep actually. So we'll see. Find the combination to the lock that's on the crypt and the scale model of the cemetery and see what, if anything, is inside. And that's the buttons with the bird. So that kind of correlates to this. And I think we just need to find it in the cemetery and then replicate it here. Play that game in the great room and see if I get anything
Did
from
that.
winning. Did that.
Still have to do that.
Still have to do that. Explore the little room that's off the landing upstairs. We did do that. Okay. So we have not taken a good enough look around the great room yet. I do want to kind of try and do that. Okay, we definitely looked around in here, and I don't think there was anything else. I think maybe that these are like some pictures or something to look at. We definitely looked over here. We looked at that. We looked at that. And maybe it's just one of those things where we need to look further at things, but we can't unlock that quite yet. Hold on. I just want to check and see if my husband's home. I thought I heard something downstairs. But it could also be Bean, too. Oh, he's not, so. I don't know what I heard. Anywho. Oh, Henry.
Yes?
Yeah, is this mansion worth very much? I'm sure it's in a nice neighborhood, but
very much?
I have no idea. Nor will I until I get all his affairs settled. He was a dentist for most of his life, so he must have had some money squirreled away. As you can tell, he was darn good at squirreling away junk.
I'm so sorry, Henry. You wear your emotions on your sleeve, and that's okay. But also, I do feel bad about this. This does suck to have to go through.
He never got married?
No way. I can't imagine anyone putting up with him for a day, let alone for a lifetime.
No love lost here. Good to know.
Why is there an empty frame in the gallery in the other room?
Is there some trauma I need to
Apparently
dig
someone stole the
dig
canvas.
into?
Renee says it disappeared sometime after Bruno died.
Was it valuable? You know how Nancy is. If she sniffs out dead parents,
Was it valuable?
In a way. It was of
In a
my
way.
parents. I think it was painted in the garden out back. Renee doesn't like me. Wouldn't surprise me if she took it out of spite.
oh, you can't tell me Nancy's not going to follow up on that. This is her favorite topic. Right? She's like, you seem like an orphan to me. Let's talk about it. Caleb, for context, Nancy drew her mother died when she was young. So anytime there's always like, I swear every game has at least like one parent death. And like Nancy will like intrude on your innermost thoughts to like get the nitty gritty details of everything. There's one game that's just centered around it completely. So just for context, the fellow neglected child, is that you? I know a kindred spirit when I see one. She's very, yeah, exactly. She can sniff out a parentless child from, again, thousands of miles away. That's why that's truly why she doesn't want to leave the mansion yet, because she's like, no, it's my radar is going off with Henry. I think he might be an orphan. It's very implied that Carson, her dad, was rarely around and very hard to reach. He's like a busy big shot lawyer, and she was like raised by her nanny for the most part. So Nancy's trauma leaks into many conversations, whether, it's solicited or not. So it's just like the joke, the inside joke of the cozy or the Clue Crew community that Nancy is she does not have a filter when it comes to dead parents. But yeah, so I'm really shocked that she doesn't have a follow-up to that. Like, wait a second, you too? All right, nope,
I
all
found this scrap
business.
of paper in the fireplace. Do you know anything about it?
No. You always go digging around in people's fireplaces?
Just looking for something that might tell me who that skeleton man was.
Ah. Anything else?
Why is there a model of a cemetery in the other room?
Because Great Uncle Bruno used to oversee the cemetery next door. made that scale model so he could keep track of where everything, or should I say everyone, was. Crafted all those miniature crypts himself. And people think I'm weird.
Do you know what this is? I found it in the other room.
Looks to me like some kind of tracing.
I was thinking that maybe my skeleton man left it behind.
Well, I sure don't know anything about it. Anything else?
I'm going to keep looking around.
Groovy.
Groovy. That's a word that needs to come back. If anything else from the 2000s comes back, it needs to be that word. Let's go chat with Renee. We'll talk to the characters.
Nancy, welcome to my little lantern-lit corner of the world.
Is cute. Renee's vibes are so off. I can't even begin to describe them. But I will say I do kind of love her aesthetic out here. I'm totally picking up what she's putting down in terms of the vibe out here. Setting vibe, 10 out of 10. Person vibe, like 3. She's got, she's interesting. She's got that going for her.
It's a little wet out here.
I don't mind. No one should mind the rain. Without it, the end of the world would come much too soon.
We also
Did
need
you
to
and Henry
update our
have a
character
nice
sheet
chat?
that we have on Google Drive, where we categorize the characters based on different Nancy Drew themed categories that we've come up with. We do still need to do that for Shadow Ranch, and we will eventually. There's a really good range of characters in this game. I think that's something that this game does very well, is it has a very rich cast of characters. Very memorable. So they'll be really fun to categorize when the time comes.
We talked.
Henry's a very morose, very negative young
It's called
man.
emo,
Very
Renee.
cunning, too. In fact, I'm fairly certain that he's been selling off Dr. Bolay's belongings on the sly.
Imagine someone describing you as morose. I would never forgive you.
Won't all of Dr. Bolay's belongings go to Henry anyway?
Absolutely not. According to Dr. Bolay's will, Henry is to get 30% of the estate. Dr. Bolay's physician, Gilbert Buford, gets 30%. Our Lady of Route 57 School of Dentistry and Cosmetology gets 30%. And I am to receive 10%.
If you don't like
Keep it
Henry
on
that
topic.
much, how come you're still here?
I'm here because Dr. Bolay paid me in advance, and I always fulfill my obligations.
What was in that concoction you wanted me to drink after I got knocked out?
Never you mind. It was just a little remedy I brewed up on the spot to help you feel better.
Have you ever seen this before? I found it by that scale model of the cemetery that's inside the house.
It's a mystery to me. I suggest you ask Henry. He leaves things lying around all the time. I guess it figures I won't notice amid all the other clutter. But I do. I notice everything. How else may I be of service to you?
What can you tell me about the painting that's missing from the frame in the gallery?
Very little, I'm afraid. I didn't notice the picture was gone until after the reception following Dr. Bolay's funeral. I cannot even tell you what it was a picture of.
If you don't mind my asking, what's in that little pouch you wear around your neck?
Things. Secret things. Things that give me special talents when special times demand them. People usually laugh when I say this, but this pouch is my connection to the energy that powers the universe.
Oh,
Well, at least you didn't laugh.
I'll leave you to your potting.
Oh,
One more
Nancy's
thing.
clocking Hocus
I,
Pocus.
too, have seen the skeleton man.
Or Skeptical
After
Nancy.
Dr. Bolay passed that night, I saw him in the
Because if there's something
hallway.
else to know about
He
Nancy,
was
it's.
there,
Oh,
then he was gone. So you best be careful, Nancy Drew, because if it was Mr. Death, and I truly think it was, he's come back.
Nancy is a very logically minded person, and her faith in reality is pretty unshaking. But there's some games that make her think, maybe. So here is the beautiful garden out back. This is the one thing that could have convinced me that this is actually a mansion. Where is the mansion? Hold on. Bring it back. No. Okay, so there it is from behind. I don't know why I'm so hung up on this being a mansion. I think it's just like they keep pushing it on us. Like, oh, this great room, this, New Orleans mansion. It's a nice house, but I don't know, like, mansion to me is like sprawling and huge and spacious, and this just isn't doing it for me. Okay. My daughter is pretty safely awake right now. I don't think we're going to explore the gardens much, so let's peep back in here and give our bestie Bess a call, who Nancy owes a lot, I think, after this trip. She does Bess
Can't check
dirty a
that
couple
off yet.
times. So yep, we'll get to this point and we will call her a day.
Hello?
Bess, hi, it's me.
Hey, Nance. I just got back from shopping, which I am happy to report is fantastic here. So, what's going on with you?
A lot.
A lot is in a whole bunch of fun stuff?
Let me start by telling you what happened when I arrived at Henry's house. I walked up to the front door and discovered it was open. So I walked in.
And is this the first game that switches perspectives?
You were knocked out by a skeleton wearing a red ascot?
Someone dressed as a skeleton wearing a red ascot. Although the housekeeper
No,
here
it's
thinks
not.
it really was a skeleton, Mr. Death. But then she's a little strange.
I'm pretty
think it was a
sure
burglar?
Blue Moon
I'm
Canyon,
not
you have to
sure.
switch
I
POVs
caught
with the
him
Hardy
or
Boys.
her sneaking around
So
the
not the
real
first
model of
one,
the
but one of
cemetery.
the few games
And
that does
later I found
do
it
switch
tracing us
perspectives,
right
which
by
is
it.
fun every once in a
So I
while.
could
It's a
just
refreshing
figure
new
out
style
what
of
is the
gameplay, so
tracing
I always
of,
appreciate it.
And what, if anything, it has to do with that model cemetery. I might be able to figure out who Skeleton Man is.
I know that tone of voice. You're not leaving there until you've done just that, are
You
you?
are so right,
I
Bess.
also found some kind of receipt in the fireplace that may or
You
may
got it,
not be a
girlfriend.
clue.
What's it a receipt for?
That's what I need to find out. See, it's half burned up. All I can read is the receipt.
Is it-
and
okay, is the
name
first
of
one
the
Kapu
place it's
Cave?
from. Zeke's.
Zeke's? You gotta be kidding me.
Why? What do you mean?
I'm
Because, yeah, you switched with the Hardy Boys there, too. I think you only switch with the Hardy Boys in Blue Moon Canyon once you get to
Great.
Copper
So
Gorge.
go over there and ask whoever's behind the counter what
'Cause then you-
receipt
I
number
think you, like, make- you have to work in the kitchen.
21-3872 is for.
No way.
Bess,
I'm not good at that sneaking around stuff, Nancy. I get nervous, my tongue gets all knotted up, my palms sweat.
Not Bess
nothing
trying to,
but
like,
arms.
put up
Bess,
boundaries
receipt
and
number
Nancy
21-3872.
blowing right through them.
Just go in and ask what it's for. No big deal.
Maybe not for you.
Bess, you can do it.
I just
This
know-
It's not gonna end well, I just know it. Okay, I'll call you as soon as it's over.
I'll be waiting.
Play Frank for that, and I think in mid there's one for it. Yeah, there is. I don't remember what it is in mid, though. That game lasted way too long. Okay. We are going to do one thing and one thing only because it connects us back to the last game we played, Shadow Ranch, where our poor Shorty ended up being our gossip queen, ended up being the culprit, but it looks like he made it out. He's on the other side and living that straight and narrow life now. It has to be him. It's the exact same shirt and suspenders and apron. I know it's him. Granny Pumpkin's Cajun Cookin'. This is like, I just know that this is like his dream. I really hope he actually has Southern roots and his grandma was a great cook and he opened this in memory of her or something. And this is like the only Shorty life I want to see lived out. So this is this is canon in my head. This is Shorty. So with that, we are going to go ahead and we're going to save Henry the Ick. Why is this a forward save? I must not have liked Henry on that playthrough. He's so whiny. So I think that's definitely what inspired that. Emo King Henry. Okay. And with that, we will Okay, yep, that's saved. Quit out of there, and we will call it a day. My daughter beckons me. I'm going to go hang out with her. Let's see. Will I be on this weekend? Probably not. Again, I have family in town. We have another birthday party for a nephew of ours this weekend, and yeah, I probably won't be around much this weekend. And after my little break that I took, I definitely have a lot of work to catch up on. So I will not be back probably until Wednesday next week, but we can maybe look into, I think we may have that weekend off. So I may be able to stream a little bit more after next week. So we will look into that. But with that, thank you everyone for watching today. It was a really good start. I think we at least talked to like some of the main characters. We didn't get a whole lot done, but thank you guys for watching along. Should we raid? Can I raid if I multi-stream? Maybe I won't raid today, but for sure. Let me see. Let me see if anyone's on. Oh, I know who we're raiding. I know. We are going to raid my friend Taylor, Ahsoka Fett. She is a full-time streamer on here now, I'm pretty sure, and she is really sweet and awesome and loves hanging out over here too for streams sometimes. You'll see her pop in every once in a while. She's playing The Last of Us Part 1, so I will probably see you guys over there. So, all right, I think we are going to raid in, let's do a cozy raid. Okay. Here we go. All right, bye guys. Oh, wait, no. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, bye. Have a great week. Mwah. Nope, that didn't work. We're not raiding for another minute and a half, so that was embarrassing. Oh, I can raid now. Just kidding. All right. Bye, guys. Maybe.
Boost this lighting a little, why don't we? Stunning! I wanted to poop while you were doing that, but we're